All right. Happy New Year's, folks. I'm gonna make this. This is a stream, but this is more just me getting the video out of the way. So, one thing that has actually gotten in the way of me like recording stuff is finding time where I can have privacy without like a lot of interruptions, and just that's been difficult. So, what is this stream or update video about? Uh, where I'm at with forming wargaming communities in my local area and just overall. For those of you who know about wargaming and all that, skip ahead about like 30 seconds and then you won't have to hear this. The new folks, if you're like, I'm here for the racing, what the hell is this gaming? Um, Think about what it was like to play games before video games, where you had to like get a board. If you know Monopoly, it's the same idea, but there's a little bit of difference with tabletop wargaming, which is like imagine chess and Dungeons and Dragons had a child. So you're moving figures around and then you're rolling dice. So uh, I'm always fantasy and sci-fi oriented. There's what people call historicals, which is like, like the Civil War miniatures and like recreating famous battles. There's a really popular game right now called Bolt Action, which is World War II. That's not really this. Although, if I end up playing Bolt Action, uh, there might be videos about it. But what is the point of what I'm doing? Most people that talk about wargaming on YouTube focus on the hobby aspect and focus on showing games off and like showing you how to play them, giving you battle reports like let's play a game online and you can follow us and that's fun. That's not what I'm doing here. I'm focusing on something that I actually feel like I'm pretty decent at that isn't really talked about. Uh, it's event organizing, it's forming communities. So it is awesome to find a game that you really enjoy, but most of these games require another person to play. There's a whole realm because of the pandemic with solo games. And I might delve into that just as like, hey, if you're bored and you want to entertain yourself, here are the different places you can go to find good solo games. But to form a community to play a two-player, three-player, four-player game is something completely different. I have stepped in the last year at my local gaming store out here in Burbank at Geeky Teas and Games. It's a interesting conglomeration of different stuff, but if you ever end up there, it has such the best vibe. And the reason why is because it's inclusive as opposed to exclusive. And that's the key component of community. A lot of people want people that they can trust to play a game and have fun. But the biggest issue with that is everyone's different in what they are playing for. So what I am doing right now to form community is just being open to everyone and trying to kind of filter in and filter out personalities that are going to gel. A good example of this is if I have a person in my community who in a tournament really has a negative reaction to someone else that they're playing, I will make sure that they don't end up playing each other because they both should be able to be welcome and they should both should be able to be there. But putting them together is a surefire way for them to not have a good time. So it's understanding in a community, you're going to have people there that are wanting to have fun. You're going to have people there that are wanting to win. And you're going to have people there that think that the only way that you can win is to have fun and vice versa. I hope that I think I actually got it wrong. It's separate. So yeah, where am I at with my community? Right now, I'm in the middle of doing an escalation league of building a very big game from a very small starting point back in August, Warhammer Old World, and it's going along. I got 2 months left. And the thing that I'm probably going to talk about the most with it is not how to start it, but how to end a community like structure. It's not just like a one-off event. It's not just like for a little bit, like for 5 to 6 weeks. Even though an event for 5 to 6 weeks or a community thing can be really, really like awesome. It's especially for a game as big as a rank and flank army like Old World. it's a month-long process. A lot of people get inspiration and motivation to get into a game like that or Warhammer 40,000 or a game like Conquest, and they just lose steam. They lose inspiration. They lose that motivation because it's really fun at first, and then it's consistency that gets you through it. So that's the key component. If anything that you're going to get from this video, if you're thinking about, hey, this is my first foray into gaming or event organizing for gaming, and that's why I came to your channel, consistency. And I think that works in any community that you're trying to form. On the running side, just a little dip in, it's consistently for me reaching out to the people at Vasquez Rocks to get the insurance so that way I can start having my consistent monthly events. See, like if I just let it be and it's like, well, it didn't happen the first time, that it would never happen. A community isn't formed unless consistent communication is happening. And that's kind of what I want to do and make sure. So one of the other games that I'm into that I have bought a lot of figures for, but I've only gotten one learning game because there's not a big community right now, is uh Legions Imperialis from Games Workshop from Warhammer. It's all kind of the same thing. It's a, a really fun game, really expensive to get into. Everyone has gotten into it, and yet there's nothing happening. So I've taken on Games Workshop helped finally by putting in a book a specific way to create an escalation campaign. And that's the key thing that I'm going to say about forming community. Don't go big, start small, and then work your way to big. Because if you do it big first, people want to know something is going to be there for longer than a moment. Otherwise, they might show up if they have time. If something is consistent, that is the word. I should retitle this whole live stream Consistency is a Virtue. Uh, if you do it on a routine basis, anything, it just becomes the way things are. And that allows people to come in and out, new people to feel like it's going to be worth their time to invest their time in because they know it's not just like it's not a spontaneous thing that most people want. Most people want something that they can count on. Interesting side note in the gaming community, a lot of people dislike um like Warhammer and Games Workshop because they're consistently doing the same practices, but they're reliable for them. While in my one of my other gaming communities, War Machine, the lack of consistency in communication and things being published or done when they originally said they were is a constant frustration. And it's like you could say gamers are always angry, and I would argue no, just some people have expectations that they put on one group that they hold for another group, and the two things are very different. A company like Steamforge Gaming is not a Games Workshop game or a game company. Those are two very different things. It's like getting upset at the local mom and pop shop for not having the same sales as Walmart and not being on the same type of level as Walmart. Like it's two different things. Go to whatever community fits your needs is what I say, or just partake in both. So, uh, this month I have one big event, which is next weekend, uh, which is just a tournament. For the people that are looking to do event organizing, tournaments are the way to go because that's where you get a few folks together and they get to have fun with people that are playing the game. Back in the day when everything was analog, that's actually how you met people who played the game that you did. You would travel 3 to 4 hours or a few states to go to a convention, to play a tournament and lose and meet people that are like-minded because everyone's playing the game for the same reason. Sorry. Part of being on break right now is somehow I got the sniffles and I probably look tired, so yeah. So, that being said, with all the digital stuff, having an online conversation space like Discord or like Threads or like wherever you're the most comfortable with. I have discovered Discord is my current passion place. It used to be Tumblr, but Tumblr is Tumblr. And even though I'm still on it, not a lot of people are, and gamers are definitely not there. So, long story short, you just have to really think especially starting off a new year, start small and build up. I got War Machine. That community is slowly growing. We're consistently there every Wednesday night. Conquest is slowly growing because it's right next to War Machine, and people who are playing War Machine are open to playing other games because we just want to have fun. We're not monogamous gamers. We are polygamers, to borrow it from Ash from Gorilla Miniature Gaming. The people that are playing Old World starting to see like different games because they had their game go away. And so it's like they've actually rediscovered stuff. People that are playing Warhammer, they are looking maybe for cheaper, easier ways to do things like 3D printing or just finding cheaper games. So communities are forming because people are in the same situation. And that's the best component. It's not like going to school where everyone has to go and that's what everyone bonds around. It's people are there to play a game, and the people that they encounter in their game are like-minded, and that feels really rewarding. You find people you vibe with and some people you don't. So think about if you're going to do anything this month for your own organizing or whatever, running or gaming, start small with something big. I've already done small running groups before, figured it out. I'm doing it more official now because I see how other running groups are doing it. And I'm going to try my hand at having a once a month event at Vasquez Rocks. At my local game store, it's the big idea of how can I keep War Machine growing so that way it's not just like 5 to 6 players, but it's like 10 to 20, which a lot of people think that they need to have the most people in the room to be a successful game. And I argue if people 6 to 10 people are consistently playing the game you're into, then it's a successful game, at least at that store. So don't go for numbers. Numbers don't mean anything. Consistency of people playing is what you're looking for. So plans, do that tournament, go to LVO for myself, meet and talk to people in January. February is going to be a busy month because that's when I start up the Escalation League for Legions Imperialis. I do the event for War Machine called Winter War Machine. And Old World is kind of starting to wrap up with the Escalation League, and we'll see where we go from there. And then, like every other gamer, who knows what I'm going to get into? The big thing that's going to kind of bookend or kind of affect everything is I just signed up for a 60K race in Joshua Tree. So manage your time, organizers. Manage your time. Get what you need. Take care of yourself. Um, I talked for 13 minutes. Lucky number 13. I don't think there's a 13-sided dice out there. So yeah. All right. Until next time, I might be doing these once a week or once a month. We'll see. It's fun and easy when I got the space and time. So until next time.